Hi everyone. A walkthrough of the case study on mission Arogya Shakti that was shared with you. And in this video, I'll give an overview of the context the context connected to that case study, and certain important aspects that you can keep in mind when you take up design thinking or design strategy based approaches to solving complex business challenges and business situations. So let's dive in straight away. Niramaya Foundation, as the case study talks about, is a public health NGO in India, and its vision is to empower every middle class Indian with access to affordable, holistic and preventive healthcare for a healthier tomorrow. The mission is to deliver innovative, high quality preventive healthcare solutions by leveraging technology and partnerships, ensuring accessibility, affordability and personalized care for all. They aim to promote preventive healthcare practices and improve overall well-being across communities. And the values that the organization espouses are compassion, integrity, innovation, accessibility and collaboration. As the case study outlines in detail, Neeraj is the CEO of Niramaya, and as you can see in the case study and in the slide in front of you, we have his goals, his needs, the gains desired, and pains and frustrations. And as you can, as you may recall from our workshop, these sort of persona diagram snapshots are created based on a comprehensive customer empathy process, which includes interviewing, which includes spending time with the person, observing the person in his or her natural environment or context, and then taking all the notes to summarize it in a one page or snapshot like this. What are the goals or the jobs to be done that the person is seeking to achieve? What are the needs? What are their gains desired, which means the larger benefits that they wish to acquire beyond the goals. And likewise, of course, extremely important to understand what are the pains and frustrations. So that's self-explanatory. You can read it up in the case study. And if you recall, in the workshop as well, we spoke about the cloud to ground view and the need to keep traversing between these two views or perspectives. The ground view, as you can imagine, is the detail, as a picture of the low level details, and the cloud view is the big picture, that 30,000 feet view of the situation. So Niramaya Foundation, as the case study has outlined, is currently looking at this post-COVID India, and while there was an upsurge in building up immunity, etc., and all healthy habits being adopted in the earlier stages of the pandemic, now that the pandemic is over and we've got on with our lives, what we are generally seeing is a regression, reversal to the pre-pandemic lifestyle habits, perhaps even more reliance on habits like frequently ordering meals from these quick commerce, these food delivery platforms, etc., and that too many times a week, and also sedentary lifestyle habits, all those kind of problems. And the specific segment of interest for the Niramaya Foundation is the middle class Indian, because today we are seeing a lot more people among the BPL card holders, the lower income groups. They are somewhat covered under Ayushman Bharat and those sort of schemes, and various state governments have their health insurance schemes, etc. So we can assume that to some extent their big worry about healthcare expenses is being addressed, of course with a lot of scope for improvement. And you take that class away, you look at the upper elite class, they're also pretty well sorted, and maybe even the upper middle class is pretty well sorted. It's the regular middle class Indians who are currently, especially in the working age group, who are particularly vulnerable to a lot of these risks caused due to healthcare challenges. And that is what is outlined in the case study as the main problem that Niramaya Foundation has taken up to resolve. So going back to the slides, so while taking up that context, it is important to switch between the big picture and the detail-oriented picture. So that's the cloud to ground view that is required in order to proceed, and that's what you will see shortly how this is done. So going to the cloud view or the 30,000 feet view, this is where it makes sense to take up an activity like the ecosystem mapping. And as you can see on your screen and in the case study, the ecosystem players, the various entities and the roles within the wider ecosystem where Niramaya is located, those entities have been listed out here in a pictorial form. So for somebody like Neeraj and the team reporting to Neeraj, this is a great visual artifact that helps them to kind of zoom out and go to the cloud view, and then look at, you know, what are the possibilities in this wider ecosystem, what are the risks looming in the horizon, what's happening out there with your competitors, what's happening in the regulatory environment with the government agencies, what are the kind of new policies shaping up, what's happening within the regular the middle class communities, and all the products and services and businesses and entities, institutions that cater to this segment. So to zoom out and take this perspective is quite important, because for an organization like Niramaya, however much passionate the team might be, it can't be done in isolation, and it is extremely important for them to take a holistic and 360-degree view of the situation. And that's where the health and wellness ecosystem map helps them to analyze it from this the big picture dimensions and the various aspects to be checked, as I said, looking at maybe even using tools like PESTEL to look at the political, the economic trends, the social trends, technology trends, etc. So when you apply a tool like PESTEL, having an ecosystem map is a pretty good idea, because more than anything else, it kind of acts as a visual cue to help you do that analysis in a much more structured manner, rather than everybody in a team sitting and doing random brainstorming, because then you don't know whether I'm looking at the same ecosystem that you are looking at, or do you see certain entities that I haven't looked at, you know. So how do we converge to a single source of truth, as you may? That is where the visual artifact really helps you. So now going back to this, so you take all those insights from that 30,000 feet view, and now it's time to go into the ground view. So how do we do that? That's where, if you can go through the details written in the case study document, we have two personas there. One is Arjun and the other one is Neha. Arjun is an IT professional, and Neha is a stay-at-home mother who's had a recent health episode, and she is kind of stabilizing her life after that, and she wishes to now take it on a different trajectory altogether, her health narrative of the health in her life. And Arjun, of course, he wants to stay healthy and energized. He is, as you can imagine, you know, in a tough market environment like what we are witnessing currently, health often takes a toll. People do get stressed out, and they don't get enough time to prioritize preventive routines, etc. So Arjun and Neha are two sample personas that Neeraj and team have identified from their research, and based on all the data that they've gathered, again through structured interviews, focus group discussions, unobtrusive observation, deep empathy related processes, etc. They put up these persona diagrams, and what's more, they have also done a journey map analysis. So for somebody like Arjun or somebody like Neha, you know, what are the stages that they would go through vis-a-vis the experience that they would have with any platform like Niramaya, who wants to help them. So if they want to engage with a platform like this and take some benefits out of that, what are the stages of that journey map? So in this slide, you can see typical stages of a customer journey map, in this case particularly looking at people like Arjun and Neha. So it starts from the top right, awareness. So there are 8 stages shown here. Awareness is the first stage. Awareness is realizing the existence of a need or a problem or opportunity. Now there are a lot of middle class people who will really not bother about what's happening, their health, etc., unless and until there is some unfavorable diagnosis report or some issue has happened, and then they wake up to the reality. Whereas there are others who realize the existence of a need to look at preventive aspects, etc. So the first thing for a service provider or a platform like Niramaya is, of course, to catch them early enough. So can you figure out in their awareness, when they are getting aware of the need, when these people like Arjun and Neha, at the time that they might be even thinking of prioritizing preventive healthcare routines, is it possible for Niramaya to figure in their mind space? That's the questions Neeraj and team will have to think about. So how do you figure in that mind space of Neha and Arjun when they are at that awareness stage? So I'm assuming they are at that awareness stage, then they go into motivation or interest. Okay, I'm aware of the need for doing something. Now I want to actually know further. I'm building that initial curiosity. I want to understand what does it mean to prioritize healthcare, preventive healthcare, and how do I go about doing it? And then further exploration, researching, evaluating options to address the need or opportunity, and then investigating available tools, services, products, programs, or options for achieving the goal. So by this time, they moved ahead. So this is stage 3. By that time, they have that initial awareness of the need for prioritizing preventive healthcare approaches is kind of cultivated and nurtured, and it has come to that stage of exploration. You've shortlisted maybe a lot of tools and services. Okay, these are the options. There's a gym over here. There's an app that I can download. There is the community out there that I can engage with. There's a walking club. I can tag along with them, etc., etc. So all of that is the stage. By stage 3 or somewhere there, and then you get into stage 4, which is planning and decision, which means committing to a specific solution or course of action, and then initial adoption, which means out of maybe for 3 options like Niramaya, they choose Niramaya, or they choose some other government scheme, or they choose some scheme in their corporate office or something like that. So you adopt something, then you stay with it, you establish regular use or engagement to achieve the sustained progress. If you start going to the gym, it's important that you do it in a consistent manner. If you take up yoga, then regular practice is important in case you want to really make an impact on your vital health parameters. And then, of course, as you do that, it's also important to optimize. You might figure out that that cardio is better suited for you, and you need while you're doing gym and strength training, it's also important to have some flexibility built up. Therefore, you do a little yoga, and you also need some deep relaxations, of which you do maybe mindfulness or meditation, etc. So all of that is called the optimization stage. And as you keep on progressing and as you start getting results, you go over to stage number 8, which is advocacy. That is, you become such a big brand, a loyal brand advocate of Niramaya Foundation, and you start spreading the word, and actually you do that good karma to get in more people into the system just by spreading the word based on your experience. So that's typically a customer journey map. Of course, there are different ways you can come up with another 8 set of stages, but over here this is what we've come up with, from awareness, moving from awareness to advocacy. So the more and more you can take people through this entire 8 stages, because at any of these stages, if what Niramaya offers is not that well designed, or if the experience is not great, the people like Arjun and Neha, they might drop off, or they may go for a competitor's offerings. So it is important to understand how to engage the customer or the beneficiary throughout these stages, and that's what you will see in this journey map, the link to which is provided in the in the case study document as well. So what I'll suggest is you go through that. These 8 stages have been laid out there on that PDF, and you can go through each of the stages. What are the goals that Arjun or Neha would like to accomplish in stage 1, 2, 3, etc. What are the touch points being used for that at that stage? What's the experience with those touch points? What are the emotions that they go through at that stage? And the opportunities row captures the opportunities from Niramaya's perspective, because remember, the idea of doing this analysis is to find out what are the pains and frustrations, the needs, the goals, aspirations, etc. of these personas at each of these stages. So wherever there is a gap, maybe certain pain is not being addressed, maybe certain gain that the persona like Arjun is expecting or hoping for has not been thought through, then that is an opportunity for Niramaya, the team at Niramaya, to start working on. They might use technology, they might just call up and talk to Arjun or whatever, these sort of interventions would be required in order to make that experience at each stage constructive and productive and fruitful. Because at any stage of the experience is not that great, then the persona might opt to leave the experience. In the sense, after awareness, Arjun may not progress to motivation, or after exploration, Neha might decide that done, I'm sort of done, this is just not working out, I'll go for different options. So it is important as a service provider or a product provider that Niramaya takes people from stage 1 to stage 8 and actually takes them all the way to that status of advocacy. So based on all of that analysis, this value proposition canvas is being put together. So you can see the right side is the customer segment. So that summarizes the key opportunities identified from the journey map and other deep empathy analysis done with Arjun and Neha and people like them. And on the left hand side, you can see the proposition with the offering that Niramaya has come up with, and that's how Arogya Shakti came into being. So the value proposition is really this mission called Arogya Shakti, this program called Arogya Shakti, and you can see the products and services, the pain relievers for the pains that you see on the right hand side, the gain creators for the gains desired on the right hand side, so you can see that on the left hand side. And the products and services are covering the customer jobs that you can see on the right hand side. Yeah. So I'll urge you to go through the write-up in the case study. So over here I'll quickly move on. We are going back to the cloud to ground view. So over here now, all right, we did one level of high level analysis and came up with the ecosystem map some time back. Then we decided to go into the ground view. Now back again to the big picture. So what's the purpose of going back to the cloud view right now? The idea is to scout for potential partnerships, because based on all these insights gathered and that seed idea of mission Arogya Shakti, Neeraj and team have figured out that they don't have all the capabilities required as an organization to deliver on all of these opportunities that have been discovered for value creation from the journey map and persona diagrams, etc., and pastel analysis, etc., of Arjun, Neeraj, and the ecosystem, etc., that they have done so far. So now they are looking for other entities within the ecosystem that could complement, that could come and partner with Niramaya, and together they can actually reach more people like Arjun and Neha, and perhaps even give them much more transformative experiences which lead to substantial increase in customer satisfaction for people like Arjun and Neha. So what do they do? Out of all the analysis that they have done now at the cloud level, they have identified Geo Health Hub as a potential partner. Geo Health Hub, as you remember, was formed in 2020. Isha Ambani had made the announcement in the AGM of Reliance, and they positioned I mean, this is the time when we were in the middle of the first wave of pandemic. So they kind of came up with this digital healthcare solution for, like leveraging the mobile network and the Geo fiber broadband network and their various platforms to come up with this Geo Health Hub platform. And as you can see, there are a lot of a lot of the focus of Geo Health Hub is on the curative aspect of health, but also continuous management of health conditions, etc. So I'll not go into the details over here. So from their analysis, Neeraj and team have figured out that this could be a good platform, this could be a good entity. It has a lot of credibility, a wide reach, etc., and we could partner with them. And of course, they've got to safeguard their own identity as well. But how would they do that? So what they've done is they now went back into the ground view. So they did this cloud view, went to the cloud view, 30,000 feet view, looked at all various potential partnerships and identified GeoHealth. And now they have gone and met Gayatri, who is the vice president, in Reliance Health Services, figured out what are her goals and jobs to be done and needs and aspirations, etc., pains and frustrations. And that is what you can see summarized on the screen right now, as well as in the case study write-up. And for Gayatri, the stages that they have identified for doing a detailed study of the experience of somebody, a decision maker, because Gayatri, if you look at it, this is a B2B context. Niramaya is trying to have a tie-up or a partnership with, exploring a partnership with a large organization like Reliance Health. And over here it's in a B2B setting. What are the stages that a decision maker in that potential partner organization goes through? So those stages are written over here. Awareness of the need for collaboration starts there. So at that earliest stage, when somebody like Gayatri becomes aware of the need for collaboration, that's when in that mind space will Niramaya figure out, is there a chance for Niramaya to be prominently figuring over there? And stage 2 is search and exploration of collaboration options. Stage 3 is initial discovery of potential partners like Niramaya. Then stage 4 is deeper understanding of organization needs, because by this stage, when you have come all the way to stage 4, it's also important for Gayatri to check internally and see what really do we need. One is they think that they also need a collaboration. That was stage 1. But from there, when they have discovered potential partners like Niramaya, then they go back and check, what exactly is our need, what kind of partnership do I need, are these kind of people okay, or those kind of people better, etc. And then receiving proposals, evaluating proposals. Stage 5, stage 6 is again buy-in, stakeholder alignment and buy-in inside your own organization. Inside Reliance, various stakeholders will be there. Sometimes competing interests will be there. So it is important to get all that sorted out as you take up the proposal for deep vetting, etc. And stage 7 is when you move into the decision making stage. You go for a contract negotiation, and finally, if all goes well, onboarding and initial implementation of the new partner organization. So this is what somebody like Gayatri would go through, in our view. You are of course free to go further than this. You can have 10 stages if we needed, you can have 7 stages, 8 stages, you can change the names of the stages. But roughly speaking, the idea is the earliest stage is awareness, and the final stage could be onboarding and initial implementation. In fact, if you want, you can even go to the stage of advocacy by your partner organization. I mean, that could be a stage 9, 10, etc. after the initial implementation is successful and there is good traction being built up. So those are all possible ways to look at the customer journey map. The journey map snapshot is given here. It is not readable here for sure. You will have to go back to your case study, and there's a link given there. Download that PDF file, and it has all the details of Gayatri's journey. And as you can see, it's far more comprehensive than the journey map of Arjun and Neha, because this is a This is an entity to entity tie-up that's being attempted here. So the level of detail that you can see over here will definitely be a lot more. There will be a lot more information. And if you go to the final row of opportunities identified, potential opportunities, you can see number of ideas there. See, these opportunities don't come automatically by looking at a journey map. You've got to do analysis, you've got to do brainstorming, you've got to do a lot of discussion and exploration happens to really look at the pains, the frustrations, the needs, the goals, the jobs to be done, the aspirations, etc. of that persona at that particular stage, and then look at various options that can be explored in order to come up with those opportunities. So those options, those ideas that you pull out from that analysis, they are classified as opportunities, because each of those ideas is an opportunity for you to address the pain of the persona, the pain of that potential partner organization's decision maker. And if you can address that, then your chances of moving that person to stage 2 or stage 3, etc., goes up substantially. So based on all of that, there's a value proposition canvas written for using this lens of the collaboration. So when I want to collaborate with another entity, it is important for me to articulate a value proposition from our organization side to the other organization. What makes us believe that you need to associate with us, and this is our value that we are offering to you. So that value, as you can see, is formed out of how you are addressing their customer jobs, which is like the goals, the pains that they're currently, pains and frustrations, how are you relieving that with pain relievers, and those larger gains, like Gayatri, for example, is looking at increased career advancement opportunities. Like if she manages to scale up the operations and the reach and the success of Reliance Health, Geo Health Hub, as a VP, she's currently a VP. So if she manages to do that, maybe organic growth or through partnerships with organizations like Niramaya, Gayatri could face, could look forward to a career advancement. Maybe from VP she might become a senior VP or an EVP or even bigger roles, or probably even go into the C-suite of Reliance Health. So all of that, these are gains that the persona may not even explicitly state, but you've got to have the tact and the diplomacy to figure it out. And sometimes you can also kind of do a indirect way of exploring these larger objectives and the larger motivations that drive those key decision makers. And if you have something in your kitty as the offering, so those are the gain creators. For example, co-branded initiatives showcasing leadership in health tech. So if Niramaya can proactively think of how to give greater visibility to the successes that Gayatri and her team are going to acquire as part of this partnership, and if Niramaya can think of that proactively, so we are thinking on your behalf, but you don't go and explicitly say, hey, do this and you'll get a promotion. Not like that, but you are creating the fertile ground for that larger motivations also to get realized. So if you can do that, then what happens is your value proposition becomes quite compelling. She is not going to look at partnering with Niramaya only to save cost or only because Niramaya has some data, etc. She's going to look at it from a 360-degree view. So that's the reason we need to do this kind of value proposition analysis. So based on all of this, this is not given in the case study, but the key objectives for 2026, 2 years from now, that Neeraj and team have come up with. So these objectives are formulated with the assumption that the partnership with Geo Health will go ahead, and these are the couple of big outcomes that they are working towards, couple of big numbers that they are working towards by 26. 1,001 brand advocates, so which means 1,001 people like Neha and Arjun who become brand advocates. Remember that stage 8 of the journey map for the customers or the beneficiaries like Arjun and Neha. So Neeraj and team want to have 1,001 such people across India who will become the word of mouth advocates. They are the ones who will go around spreading the good word about Niramaya and the benefits that they have received with respect to their health parameters. So imagine 1001 people spreading the good word about your platform's, the platform's impact that it has had on their lives and on their families and on their careers, etc. If 1001 such people are going to be spreading the word in their social circles, among their friends and family, etc., the impact of this could be quite amplified. The reach of Mission Arogya Shakti could be quite amplified, and they hope to have significant reach in 5 metros and 12 big cities across India, and they hope to have 20,000 plus people enrolled as users on a personalized health journey. So these are some numbers that Neeraj and team have come up with as of now. Of course, when they talk, if the initial pilot with GeoHealth goes well, these numbers could be revised upward as well. Yeah, so that's how those are the large objectives or business objectives that Niramaya is working towards. So that, in a nutshell, is the summary of this case study. And how this case study has been formulated is by starting with an initial challenge which is written in the beginning of the document, and then going through this series of switching between the cloud and the ground view, the big picture 30,000 feet view, and the picture of the details and the nitty-gritty as you get into the persona level analysis, etc. By doing this again and again, and as leaders having the ability to straddle these two perspectives, you generate a lot more options to enhance the value proposition. And then putting it all together, you need to have some vehicle to take this journey forward, and that vehicle, in the case of Niramaya, is Mission Arogya Shakti. Details are all given in the documents. I would urge you to go through the case study now, after having listened to the case study description over here. And in the next video, I'll also explain a few quick points on how to fill up your playbook, which we have shared on 13th September. So you can go through that, and in the second video, which will be a private video, I'll be sharing it with all of you. So over there, I'll explain how you can fill up the playbook that we gave for you, because that is going to be an input for your coaching discussion. So prior to the coaching, we would like to see the playbook entry details for each one of you. And while you do that, this case study and these artifacts and the examples that we have provided will give you a fair idea of the level of detail that you will need to go into to do this sort of design strategy led approach to business problem solving, because each one of you is going to come up with your own key solution initiative for this organization. So on that note, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.